Welcome to Vedic Counselor, where ancient Vedic wisdom meets modern scientific insight.
You know, in Vedic astrology, have you ever heard of a planetary combo so intense it's basically like having a cosmic fire burning right inside of you? Well, today we are diving deep into one of the most powerful and, volatile formations out there, Angarak Yoga.
So what is this thing? The ancient texts give us this perfect picture. Imagine pouring oil onto a fire. Whoosh! You get this explosive burst of energy. And that's exactly what happens when the fiery planet Mars gets together with the shadow planet Rahu in the same house of your birth chart. It creates this signature of just immense power and, you guessed it, volatility.
All right, here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we're going to meet the two main players, Mars and Rahu. Then, we'll tackle the million-dollar question, is this whole thing a curse or a blessing? After that, we'll see where this fire actually burns in different parts of your life. I'll give you a toolkit for taming it, and finally, we'll talk about what it really means to walk the path of a forged warrior.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this explosive combination, we've got to look at the individual forces at play first. It all starts with them. So on one side, we've got Mars, also known as Angaraka, which literally means burning coal. I mean, how cool is that? This is your drive, your courage, your get-up-and-go aggression. And on the other side, we've got Rahu, the north node. Now, Rahu is a cosmic amplifier. It takes whatever it touches and just cranks a volume way up, your desires, illusions, and it loves to bring on those sudden, out-of-the-blue events.
So you can imagine what happens when you put these two together, right? Rahu just pours gasoline on the fire of Mars, and this creates this incredible push-pull dynamic. You get this almost unstoppable drive, but at the same time, it's often mixed with this feeling of restlessness, maybe even indecision. It's just raw, unfiltered power, but it's not always stable.
And that instability is exactly what leads us to the central question of Angarak Yoga. Is all this intense energy a gift, or is it a major challenge? Well, the truth is, it's both.
You can really think of it as a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it can show up as a dosha, that's like an affliction, and that can lead to a lot of impulsiveness, conflict, even chaos in your life. But on the other hand, it can be a yoga, which is a powerful boon that gives you exceptional courage, drives you to innovate, and can forge incredible success. See? It's the exact same energy, it just depends on how it's expressed.
So let's look at that challenging side first, the dosha. When this energy is just left to run wild, it can feel like a pressure cooker that's about to blow. We're talking about a short temper, a tendency toward accidents or health issues like inflammation. And yeah, it can create some serious friction in your relationships, your finances, and especially with people in charge.
But when that very same fire is channeled, that's when you get warriors. It creates this incredible fearlessness, an ambition that just refuses to quit, and the raw drive to succeed in some of the most competitive fields you can think of. I mean, think about it. The same impulsiveness that causes conflict, in the hands of a surgeon, that becomes life-saving split-second decisiveness. The aggression becomes strategic genius for a military leader or a top athlete. This is the energy that breaks molds and changes the game.
Now, here's something really crucial to remember. This energy doesn't show up in the same way for everybody. Its effect really depends on which area of your life or which house in your chart it decides to set up shop in. You can think of the houses as the different departments of your life, you know? So, for instance, if Angaraka Yoga is sitting in your first house, which is all about you, your personality, it can make you pretty impulsive and quick-tempered. But if that same fiery energy is in your seventh house of partnerships, well, you can see how that might stir up some serious turbulence in a marriage or in your home life.
Now, when this energy lands in the houses that deal with your career and money, whoa, its impact is just as powerful. It could mean you have a very blunt way of speaking, or maybe a bit of a rebellious streak at work. But, and this is a big but, it can also fuel absolutely immense financial gains, especially through unconventional paths like tech, real estate, or any super competitive industry.
And here's the really interesting part. Even in the so-called difficult houses, the ones that deal with challenges, there's a serious silver lining. Yeah, this combination might bring on health issues or legal battles, but it also gives you the extraordinary courage you need to overcome your enemies. It can help you excel in things like deep research or in ventures far from home. It literally turns poison into medicine.
So if you've got this cosmic fire burning inside you, are you just stuck with it? Doomed to deal with the chaos? Absolutely not. Vedic wisdom gives us a really clear toolkit for taking this raw energy and transforming it into something amazing and constructive. But before we even get to the tools, you have to remember this. This is so important. The effectiveness of any remedy isn't some magic trick or a quick fix. It's all about consistent practice and having genuine faith in the process. You gotta stick with it. Okay, so here's a practical 4-step plan. Step 1, worship. Devotion to Lord Hanuman, who's the embodiment of disciplined strength, is super effective. Step 2, mantras. Chanting specific mantras from Mars and Rahu can help calm down their intense energies. 3, charity. Doing things like donating blood or red items helps release that aggressive energy in a really positive way. And finally, number 4, lifestyle. This is key. You've got to channel that fire into things like sports, meditation, or any kind of constructive work. And all of this brings us to a final, really empowering idea. Having Angarak Yoga isn't some kind of life sentence. You can think of it more like a calling to become a warrior.
So this really brings up the biggest question in all of astrology, doesn't it? Does your chart dictate every single thing about your life, or do you actually have a say in the matter?
Well, the ancient wisdom on this is crystal clear. The planets can create tendencies, okay? They can set the stage, they can give you a certain inclination, but they do not compel you. They don't force your hand. The final choice on how to act, that is always, always yours.
So, that burning call of Mars, supercharged by Rahu, doesn't have to be the thing that burns you or your relationships down. Instead, it can become the forge. It's the heat, it's the pressure that transforms raw, unrefined material into something strong, sharp, and full of purpose. It's what creates leaders, innovators, and yeah, spiritual warriors.
So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. Angarak Yoga hands you a source of immense power. If you leave it unchecked, sure, it can be destructive. But with awareness, with discipline, with conscious effort, mastering that inner fire doesn't just lead to worldly success. It leads to personal and spiritual elevation. The power is absolutely intense, but the choice of how you wield it, that choice is yours.
If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel Vedic Counselor. For personal astrology consultation, horoscope analysis, or Vastu consultation, you can contact us on WhatsApp 919219539215 or visit our website www.vediccounselor.com. Thank you for watching.